Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to another live session of the topic is taking less action for more success, taking less action for more success. So, welcome to this live session. Today's December 5th, 2024. The 2024 is winding down. We're going to hit 2025 soon, the year of the snake. Looking forward to it. I think there's going to be a lot of energetic shifts in 2025. So enjoy this session. And if you have any questions or any comments, please share them and I'm happy to answer any live questions. This is the time to ask me live questions so I can answer them properly. So, again, welcome to a live session on the topic of taking less action for more success. And this is a topic that I personally feel very connected to because this is one of the things in starting companies and I started a company and in during height of COVID, and then I started another company. And when you start companies, you have to take lots of action. And one of the things that I learned is just because you take action, it doesn't mean that you're going to achieve success. So this is the topic on that subject. Okay, so let's just clear the energy of the room first. Just relax, breathe naturally, and stay in the power of now. Dear God, angel, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to create this sacred space. Thank you so much for allowing us to talk on this topic of taking less action to create more success. Thank you so much for allowing me to channel the words, phrases, wisdoms, and powerful message to benefit the beautiful souls in this room, benefit the beautiful souls around the world. Thank you so much for creating a space that is removed of any low frequency energies that do not belong in this space, that do not serve the highest and best good of everyone in this space. So thank you so much for your continued uh, watching over this space and to allow this session to go off without a hitch with peace, serenity, and flow. And so it is. Namaste. So it is. Hi, Denise. How are you? Hi, Miracles 888. You're welcome, Denise. I'm happy. I'm honored to do this session. And this topic I think is so important. Just to remind anybody before we get started is, the 69 Moons herb line. We're selling the Xiao Yao San Plus to help calm and focus the mind, and the Yuping Fang San Plus to help support a healthy immune system. And I think this formula, I think, is really great now that we're heading into the winter months, the thick of the winter months. Yu Ping Fang Sun Plus, that's a very classical formula for being able to support a healthy immune system. So you can get those at shop.yinyangliving.com, shop.yinyangliving.com. And for those of you who don't already know, I have created an AI educational platform on traditional Chinese medicine healing system. I'm very passionate about Chinese medicine, and we'd love to get your feedback on what you would like to see on such a platform, what would benefit you, you know, what you would want. And so we're taking in surveys. So go to this link to complete our survey to let us know what is it that would be helpful to you in such a platform to support your health and wellness. So please take this survey at this link, and we deeply appreciate it. It will really help us to develop a platform that serves you at your highest level in your health and wellness journey. Okay, so hello, Ella Watson. What a beautiful name. I was just thinking about the actress Emily Watson. I love her. And when you said Ella Watson, reminded me of the actress Emily Watson, just the name. So because I love Emily Watson, I think she's a wonderful actress. And I remember seeing her the first time, I think in the 90s when she starred in a movie called Breaking the Waves. What an incredible movie that was. So Welcome, Ella Watson. Okay, so let's go into this topic of taking less action for more success. Okay, what does that really mean? Well, I think there's a really big misconception, and this is a very, very Asian thing, and I think it's all over all societies have this misconception that in order to achieve success, you have to work very, very, very hard, right? Which means that you have to take lots of action. And while that is true, you do have to take action and you do have to work. And sometimes you do have to work hard. Doesn't mean that you're going to achieve success, right? It doesn't mean, but they're saying it's the precursor to the road to success of working very, very hard to take lots and lots of action. And yes, you can, point to certain people who are very successful, who work probably 80 hours a week, and especially with entrepreneurs, because when you're starting a company, you're doing everything. You're the product person, you're the marketing person, you're the salesperson, you're the, financial person, right? So yes, especially if you're starting a company like that, yes, you might have to take a lot of action, but it does not ever mean that you're going to lead to success. And there are lots of startup companies that fail. Actually, about 80% of startup companies actually fail. And I assure you, all of those founders are taking lots of action. And so what it is this, is that the reason why when we take action, it's kind of like, and we just keep taking lots of action, it's kind of like throwing something against the wall and hoping it will stick, right? Hoping it will stick. So it's almost like kind of like winning the lotto, right? When you're winning the lotto, you're just putting something out there into the universe, hoping that it'll connect, right? The numbers will connect. So those odds are very, very low that you would hit success, right? It's like winning the lotto. What are the odds of anybody winning the lotto? Almost 0%, right? Because there's no basis for that, putting those numbers out there. There's no real basis for it in terms of the connection to the universal forces. So we're talking about this connection to the universal forces because the universal forces is going to show you the way. It's going to connect you with the cooperative components. It's going to connect you with the opportunities. It's going to connect you with the right people, the situations, the opportunities, the right numbers in the lotto situation, right? And those universal forces are never taken into consideration when people take lots of action. Wow. Let me repeat that. The universal forces of energy and law of attraction is never taken, often not taking consideration when people are taking action. And so what it is that we have this concept because our soul is in a physical form and we're living in a physical reality, and I say reality in quotes because this physical reality is really just a hologram of consciousness. It's a hologram of something metaphysical. It's a matrix. And so when we say we live in this physical world, we're like, well, because we are physical beings, that means that we have to take physical action in order to achieve success because we have the sense of seeing, the sense of smelling, the sense of taste, the sense of hearing, the sense of touch. These five senses make us have a physical experience. And because we have a physical experience, we make the logical conclusion, and this feels very logical, that we have to take lots of physical actions to achieve success. And so when we do that, we discount the powers of the universal forces. And the powers of the divine and the universal forces are far greater than our own individual power, right? It is far greater than our own individual power, but because we're connected to these universal forces, we are made up. The source energy has made us. We can return and connect to those universal forces of our higher self, the higher consciousness level of who we are, in connection with the consciousness of the entire universe. And so once we start to make those connections to our higher self, the eternal part of us, the part of us that already knows our journey, that already knows the action to take, that already knows what we should be doing, that already knows how to be guided, that already is wisdom, is love, is compassion, is power. If we can connect to that, that means that we don't have to take as much action to achieve success because we're now in flow. We're in alignment with ourselves in connection with the universal forces. Think about how powerful that is to be aligned and connected with your higher self and the universal forces. That power is unbelievable, right? And so if we are taking action in alignment with those higher sources of power that we are, when we take action, it's meaningful. It's not just throwing things against the wall, hoping something will stick. It's not like playing the lotto. Now, if you are really highly connected with yourself and the universal forces and you play the lotto, you will probably have a much better chance of winning the lotto because you're connected to the universal forces that already knows what those numbers are going to be. It already knows. You just have to connect with it. You know, my favorite analogy that Esther Hicks makes me, one of my favorite law of attraction teacher, she says, we're like a radio, and the radio has an antenna that puts out a signal. And so when we vibrate and we align with the signal of that radio, then we're connected. So the universe is sending a signal. We've got to tune ourselves to that signal. And when we tune ourselves to that signal, we have alignment. We have winning the lottery. We have powerful actions. We have powerful decision making. So when we leave out that universal equation of consciousness, our higher self, and the powers of the universe, we are compromising our ability to make good decisions. We also may have to take more actions that will cost us money, time, and energy that are being wasted. And so, yes, while it is important to take action, because we are living in a physical, uh, lower consciousness reality, because we are physical beings and our soul came into a physical time-space reality to take physical actions. It's not about taking lots of actions or just taking actions to throw things against the wall, hoping something sticks. It's about taking actions that are actually meaningful, that actually have a real purpose, that's not being wasted. And does that mean that, okay, well, if I take this action, Moon, and it didn't come out as intended, does that mean that action has been wasted? No, not necessarily, because often there's a process that you have to take this action to learn something that you needed to learn in order to adjust and take a different action. So you can't always say, oh, just because you took an action that didn't result in the intended consequences or the intended results, it doesn't mean that action was fruitless. Now, if you take that action and it didn't come out as an intended consequence and you didn't learn anything from it, then that action that you took was actually wasted. So you've got to learn. The process is to learn and to grow and expand by taking this action, then you learn, taking this action, then you learn, taking this action. And then what's going to happen is as you keep learning, you would take less action. And so then also when you are really connected to your higher self, because your higher self really knows the journey, which way it should be going, which path it should be taking. There's so many paths to take, right? Your higher self knows to take this path, path A, then you might take path C, then you may take path D. The higher self already kind of knows it intuitively on the deepest level. And so by being guided and connected to your higher self, which is really connected to the entire universal forces, you're being guided in the way that it should with flow. And so then you're connecting with the right people at the right time. You're creating opportunities for yourself that you otherwise would not have created. Okay, so let's take a break over here and see if there's any questions about this. Okay. Hi, Samantha Barron. Hi, the great goddess. Peace and prosperity to you as well. Oh, I'm so glad that this topic is resonating with you. I think it's an important topic. Hello, Kiki. Hi, Bonica Bro 888. Bonica Bro, win, win, win. Emma, lottery jackpot. Oh my God, you're a lottery jackpot winner. Congratulations. Wow, I'm so happy for you. That is wonderful. You're probably connected to the universal forces and your higher self, and that's why you won the lottery. Some people win it without that, and all of their money gets wasted. I've heard a lottery stories where people win it, and then 10 years later, they don't have any of the money. And it's such a shame because winning a lottery is like a miracle. And miracles can happen every day, but if that miracle is kind of wasted if after 10 years you no longer have any of the money. And I actually knew somebody whose uncle won the lottery twice. And she said that her uncle doesn't have any money left. So I was like, oh my God, that's too bad. Okay. Hi, Radhika. Oh, okay. Ella Watson, great question. She asks, how do we achieve that alignment? Yes, that is such a great question. How do we achieve the alignment with our higher self and achieve the alignment with the universal forces, right? Right. Yeah, that's a great question. And one way not to achieve it, one way that we are very prevented from achieving is through fear. Fear is a real cause of prevention of, of knowing our higher self, of being connected to our higher self and the universal forces. Fear. When we have fear, it prevents us. And so, what is the opposite of fear? The opposite of fear is love, peace, serenity, right? And so, when we can start to really feel those things of truth, love, serenity, peace internally, that's when we're really connecting with our higher self and the universal forces. That's when we're connecting. And so what you want to do is you want to do everything that puts you in a place where you feel you have more faith in yourself and in the divine, where you have more peace with yourself, where you have more inner love for yourself, where you could see that even though there's a lot of suffering and pain around the planet, that you are here to expand yourself. And in your expansion, that you are by influence will help others around you and the planet. You are not here to police everybody. That's not your journey. That's why the Buddha always says, just pay attention to your own mind and shift to a higher consciousness level yourself. So you're minding your grass first. And so anything that you could do, Ella, to get into that space of that deeper knowing. And when you get into the space of that deeper knowing, you are getting into the space of absolute serenity, peace, calm. And you understand that everything has everything is part and parcel of a bigger picture, and that you are here in part and parcel of that bigger picture, and you are here to make a contribution to that bigger picture. And so, one of the ways that helps me tremendously, and I think helps everyone, the biggest way is by connecting with nature, spending time with nature. Nature will always will always allow you to come home to your soul. Now, if you're not a meditator, there are people who meditate to do that. But if you're not a meditator, and there are a lot of people who don't want to meditate, who don't like meditation, that's okay. Spend time with nature by the lake, ocean, in the woods, in the forest, in the desert. Because when you are surrounded by nature, nature is the divine. Nature is infinite wisdom, infinite love, infinite power, infinite peace, infinite calm, infinite serenity. There's nothing about nature that isn't divine. God really expresses itself through nature. That's what God does. The mountains, the ocean, the moon, the stars, the grass, the trees, are animals. That's why I love my dog Happy so much. He represents to me when I spend time with my Happy, I feel that unconditional love. I just love him so much. And so nature is really the key to help you align with that part of you and the universal forces. Because if you look at a tree and you sit under a tree, which is what the Buddha did to reach nirvana, that tree, think about how much wisdom that tree has. Think about the level of calm, peace, love, serenity, and wisdom that tree embodies. Does the tree ever get angry? No. Does the tree ever get stressed? No. It never does. Does the tree ever have fear? No, it doesn't. It is what it is, and it accepts whatever is happening. So if there's a storm, the tree accepts it. The tree's okay with it. If there's a hurricane, the tree's okay with it, right? Does the tree ever get into a fear mode or stress or anxiety? No, it doesn't. It is what it is, and the tree stillness. So I have a meditation, guided meditation on tree stillness. Use that meditation if you want. Use that guided meditation. It's called tree stillness guided meditation. Use that meditation to help you connect with your higher self. But that's a beautiful question. So thank you. Samantha Brennan, could I have a card on leaving my part-time job to focus on? Okay. How do we trust in? Okay. Part-time job to focus full-time on my energy healing and psychic business. How do we trust doing less will get us more? Okay. Hi, Samantha. Samantha, I guess you haven't followed me for a while because I stopped doing the cards for people many months ago. At the beginning of 2024, I made a conscious decision to no longer do the card readings because there were too many people who were pretending to be me, faking my identity, and approaching my audience to say that they have a message in return for money. So it was a money scam. So I wanted to prevent that scam for your highest and best good because I didn't want them to reach out to you pretending to me and get money from you. So I felt like my higher my higher self and my spirit guides were telling me, stop doing it. So that's the reason. Now, how do we trust doing less will get us more? Okay, that's a question that I can answer. How do we trust that if I do less, I will get us more? And the reason why you don't trust it in that process is because once you really connect it with your higher self and the universal forces, you will trust. It's a lack of that connection, which is creating the lack of trust. It's the lack of that connection. Because when you are connected and aligned with your higher self and the universal forces, you're going to download things that will allow you to make decisions and take actions that will be a lot more meaningful. You get what I'm saying? So by not connecting to that part of you, you're not able to download the information, the data to make powerful decisions and take powerful actions, which means that you will have to take more actions. It's like, and you will have to expend more time and energy and resources, and you might waste more time, energy, and resources. So you're trying to connect with your higher self and the universal forces so that you can download what the powerful actions are and the decisions are. You get what I'm saying? So I would say work on that first rather than trying to do create this business. Work on your inner self, developing that relationship with your higher self and the divine and the universal forces. Work on that relationship, and once you work on that relationship, because you're meditating, you're spending time with nature, you're going to start getting downloads. You're going to say, ah, this feels right and this does not feel right. I should do this as step one. I should not do that. You see what I'm saying? And so when you take more meaningful action with meaningful decision making, you're going to take less action, right? So for somebody who might have to take 20 action, you might only take 5 action to get the same results, or if not better, because that 5 action is far, far, far more meaningful and powerful than the 20 actions that you're going to take. Because, you know, like maybe 17 out of the 20 actions are really meaningless and not getting you anywhere. So it's about that inner self-development, doing that work first before you actually take action, being in alignment with yourself, your higher self, and being in alignment with the universal forces. That's gonna, oh, and that's gonna also give you the faith, more trust that the actions and decisions that you make will be more meaningful. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. So thank you. That was a very good question. Thank you so much. And I want to wish you, I want to send you so many beautiful energies for your business, for your psychic business. Okay. I actually love psychic, psychic people and experts because I love the metaphysical. So anything in the psychic realm, I'm into. So I send you lots of blessings your way for that business, and may it become very successful. Okay, the great goddess, like Esther says, plug the vacuum and don't push it over the carpet. Yes, yes, I love that. Yes, you've got to plug the vacuum in, right? Because if you don't plug it and you're going like this, nothing's gonna happen. So get plugged in first and then take the action. I love that analogy. It's such a great analogy. Thank you, the great goddess. You've got to get plugged in before you can take the meaningful action. I love the vacuum cleaning action. I'm going to use it. Thank you, great goddess. I give credit to you and credit to Abraham Hicks. Wow, what a great analogy that is. Yeah, I get it. Yes, align yourself. Um, Kevianese. Oh, what a beautiful name, Kevianese. You are great. Do you have to play the lottery to win it? Yes, you do. You do have to play the lottery to, I mean, if you're when you'd say lottery, if you're talking about, 6 numbers that you give to a government entity, and then you win based on those numbers. Yes, you have to win. But what I'm saying is that if you play the lottery and you're plugged in, as Esther Hicks says, plugged in, then your chances of winning that lottery is going to be exponentially greater. That's what's going to happen. So you've got to get plugged in. So that's why, most people don't win. You know, how many times you play and they don't win because we're not. Because if we were really, really plugged in, then I would say we would all win the lottery if we were that level plugged in. So yes, you do have to win the lottery, but I suggest getting plugged in and then playing the lottery. And it doesn't, and just because you're plugged in, it doesn't mean you're going to win the lottery. Maybe there are lessons for your soul that you need to go through, that you need to, you know, do this or do that. You need to do certain career or certain higher purpose work because your soul needs to learn lesson. So if you just win the lottery and you just have all this money, then there's no reason to do anything else, right? So if your soul really needs to learn some real lessons, then winning the lottery may or may not be good for you, because if you win the lottery and you don't do anything, then you're not on your soul's journey and you're not learning those lessons. So there's a reason why. But the thing is, this is that if you are really plugged in and winning that lottery, then that's a beautiful thing, because if you're really plugged in, that means that you've learned so many lessons just by plugging in. You already have an awareness. Like when you are plugged into your higher self and universal forces, you don't even have to take certain actions or have certain physical experiences to learn those lessons. By being plugged in, by the virtue of being plugged in, you have an awareness of the wisdoms, compassion, love. Your soul is already learning that. You are learning that lesson. You were learning that lesson by the virtue of being plugged in. That's why the Buddha one says, "Oh, I was under the Bodhi tree and I reached nirvana." Did the Buddha go out and meet people and do this and all that? No, the Buddha was just under the Bodhi tree and reached nirvana because the consciousness level reached was at such a high level that all of those lessons were being shown to the Buddha by virtue of meditation. It was seen that you could, because I'm one with the universe and the universe is one with me. So what lessons is the Buddha not learning at that point? And at that point, doesn't care about the lotto. When you have reached a higher consciousness level, money means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. The whole point is to reach, when you start reaching a higher consciousness level, money means nothing. It's meaningless. The reason why people care about money in this life is because they say, in this physical life, is because their level of reaching higher consciousness isn't there. And the money is to say, well, if I have this, then I can buy this. And if I can buy this, then it could make me feel better. Or I could buy this and it could make me feel better, right? The whole purpose of having money is to make yourself feel better. But money is not the solution to making you feel better. The solution is internal work. It's to say, I'm connected to my higher self. I'm connected, because let me tell you, when you reach nirvana, you don't care about money. Money just means nothing. You're an eternal soul. And when this body goes, you are eternal. And money, whether you have money or not, you are an eternal soul. Money doesn't matter at that point, you know? So that's the point. When you are so tapped into yourself and the universal forces, money becomes less and less relevant. Okay. So but it's a good question. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so Keviani says, how do you understand where you are here in this material world to do? You mean your higher purpose? Okay. Are you asking, if you're asking, what is my higher purpose? What am I here to do materially? Well, your soul is here in this physical world to have physical experiences. And through those physical experiences that you're having, whether it's through relationships, whether it's through career, job, whatever it is, those physical experiences, you're here to learn lessons for the expansion and growth of your soul. That's why you are here materially. That's why you are here physically, to learn lots of lessons. And you never stop learning those lessons. The soul wants to learn those lessons, the lessons that you haven't learned in your past life. The Buddhist says many past lives that you've had. You come back to learn lessons. Now, some souls come back to teach others, like they call them more the bodhisattvas, to teach other people and guide them through their soul's journey. But you're really here to learn lessons. And so if you can recognize that, and you can say, you can ask yourself and do a reflection on this, reflect, contemplate. What are the lessons that my soul needs to learn? you will be guided by which direction to go. So everything that I do in terms of what I do in my life, I know it's connected to my soul's journey. So doing the blog that I do, Yin and Yang Living, and this live session is connected to my soul's journey. Creating an AI educational platform on traditional Chinese medicine healing system is part of my soul's journey. So once I understand what my soul's journey is, then once I understand what lessons I need to learn, my soul's lessons, then I can make decisions on what type of work I'm going to do materially, what I'm going to do here materially. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't align with my soul's journey or path. So then you can make those, you could be very discerning and make decisions for your path. But understand yourself and have an awareness of yourself and your soul's journey, then you will start to make decisions on your soul's journey and path in this material world. And it feels right. It feels in alignment. And the universal forces will open doors for you. It will open opportunities, people, when you're on that journey. Now, does that mean that it's just going to happen like that overnight? No, not necessarily, because a lot of times there's a process to that journey. Step one to get to step two to get to step three to get to step four. So doing this educational platform for traditional Chinese medicine, there's a process that we're going through. And one of the processes that we realized that we had to go through is learn from you. What would you like on a platform like this? What would you like in an AI educational platform on traditional Chinese medicine that would help your health and wellness? And that was one of the journeys, one of the steps that we needed to take. And so we created a mindful survey for you to complete. And here's the link to that survey. We want to hear from you about what it is that would be helpful to you in such a platform. So you see, so that's one of the steps that we need to take to really launch a platform that would be useful to you. Okay, so that's the answer to that question. Okay. Hi, Botanica Bro 88. That a great name for a pet friend, Nature. Yeah, I love that name. Nature could be a great name for a pet. I agree. Uh, Hi, Arpita, how are you? I also experience nature. Pets also cultivate self-love within us. I agree. I agree. I think pets just, they do. You know why it is? Is because a pet never judges. A pet is not here to judge. The pet is kind of like the tree. It's just present in the power of now. It's just and whatever it does, it's just responding. It's not really like it's not making a real judgment of bad or good, right? And so the pet is always in the power of now. And when you are so present in this moment, there is an appreciation of your beingness, your uh, existence, right? Which is the cultivation of that self-love. And that's why pets allow us to recognize our own power in this moment, which is the power of this moment, not the future, not the past. And when we are in the power of this moment, we appreciate who we are and we have a self-awareness. Okay, Botanical Bro, how do I deal with bouts of feeling cynical towards spiritual and esoteric info, similar to what spirituals like yourself refer to? Uh, you know what? That's a great question. That's a great question. So there's spirituality that resonates with you, and that's spirituality that doesn't resonate with you. So when you are watching others and watching me, for instance, ask yourself, ask your soul, does what she says resonate with my soul? Does it resonate with my journey? Does it resonate with the deepest, the highest part of myself? If it's a yes, then you listen. If it's a no, you let it go and you move on. So, yes, of course, we get it. There are people who say that they're spiritual, that there's esoteric, and they seem not authentic, right? And if there's any feelings that this person is not authentic, then move on. Don't listen. Don't ever listen to somebody that doesn't feel authentic to you. Just move on. So that's how you know. But spirituality is really the only truth that we all have. We are all on a spiritual journey, whether we recognize it or not, whether we have a conscious awareness or not. We are all on a spiritual journey, whether we cultivate it, nurture it, or have an awareness, conscious awareness of it or not. We are all on a spiritual journey. That's our existential truth. Now, who you follow are being guided by, you have to be discerning about that. Say to yourself, does what this person say ring true to me on a deep level? And so the more you are connected with that higher self, the more it will tell you, the more discerning you could be, and the more you will seek out the people that really resonate with your soul. Okay. So that's how you do it. Ella Watson Moon, I can highly relate because the times I have made big moves whereby I expected to make big money and other people thought the same, I ended up in losses. I learned the hard way. You know what? You Instead of saying, and you know what, thank Ella Watson, thank you so much for sharing that experience. You learned it the hard way, but I wouldn't say hard way. I would say I learned a great lesson from this situation, which will help me for my future expansion and growth. That's the way I would rephrase it. Hard way because you've learned from it. If you learn from it, it's, and I get it. I acknowledge that it was a difficult situation for you, and that's why you're saying hard. But and it's okay that you say it now, but shift it. Let's make a little shift. Let's go expand this more. Let's go to a higher level. Say, I am grateful for the situation because I learned many lessons, important lessons for my expansion and growth. So that's the next step. I'm grateful for the situation because I learned great lessons, invaluable lessons for my expansion and growth. That's the next way to look at it. But you know what I'm saying? So anything that you learn from is not a waste. If you didn't learn from it, then you could say it's more of a waste. But again, everybody's soul's journey is very different. Some people are going to learn the lessons in this life, and other people will not learn those lessons. And that's a choice that we have. That's a choice that we're given. We're given the power of choice. We're given absolute power of choice. So we could choose to learn the lessons or not choose to learn it. You're welcome, Kevinese. You're welcome. It's my honor and privilege to serve you. Ella Watson, even in relationships whereby I did so much and a lot of energy backfire, so I relate. Yeah, you took a lot of action in that relationship and it backfired. Well, I'm sure you learned a lot, Ella. So it was probably a relationship you needed to go through in order to learn. And without those relationships, your soul would not have learned. Um, Botanical Bro, the Western and much of the overall world is often very logic driven. Yes. Well, Western society is based on logic, right? It's not as based on um is not as much based on intuition as much as just pure logic. And there is a place for logic. Logic has its place. Intuition has its place. So I say use the intuition and then apply logic to that, a logic afterwards. So if you have an intuition hit like, oh, I need to go in this direction, right? And that's an intuitive hit. Then after that, you use logic to say, okay, this is going to be step one, step two, step three, step four. So you're using both, you're combining both. You use the intuition to give you kind of a sense of direction and sense of yes or no. And then you use logic to take each step because you don't want to take step three when you should be taking step one, right? You don't want to be taking step five when you should be taking step two now. So those steps are the logic part. And the logic part is also very important and necessary to building success. You're welcome, Samantha. You're welcome. I'm here to serve. Um, okay. You're welcome. Hi, Mary Stravinsky. How are you? You're welcome, Ella. Moon, I want to tell you to tell you I do the Ho'oponopono prayers every day. It helps me so much. Oh my God, yes, the Ho'oponopono prayers are such powerful tool. Ho'oponopono, it's like I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Those mantras, you know what that is doing? It's cleaning, it's cleansing your energy. And as you cleanse that energy, it's called purifying, cleansing. You're connecting with purity. You're connecting with, you're connecting because when you are so cleansed, you can't attract negative, low frequency situations or people. And that's what Ho'oponopono is. It's about cleansing yourself so that you could attract great people, great opportunities, people who are at high frequency, high vibe frequency. And so that's the whole point. Is the point is you cleanse yourself through these affirmations and mantra, the Ho'oponopono mantra. And as you cleanse yourself, you are connecting with people who are also cleansed, who are also clean. So that's why it's so powerful. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions about this topic of taking less action for more success? Okay, so let's recap before we go. So there's a misconception that if you have to take lots of action in order to have success in life. It's not about taking lots of actions. It's about connecting, being plugged it to your higher self and to the universal forces, because your higher self and the universal forces already know the direction, the, the meaning, the meaningful direction, the meaningful actions, the meaningful decisions. It already knows. So if you're plugged into that already, and as you're moving through this time-space reality called life, you're going to take more powerful actions and make powerful decisions, which means that you will take less action and have more success. So it's about leveraging the power of your higher self and the universal forces in order to make powerful decisions and take powerful actions so that you would take less action. So rather than taking maybe 20 steps, you might only have to take 5 steps to get to that success. So that's what the premise is here. It's about being connected to your higher self, to the universal forces, being in alignment with that and leveraging that power. And so when you go out in the world, it's going to be meaningful. Okay. So, which is the reason why you will take less actions for more success. So that's it. In your shorts, you said we turned to Archangel Raphael. I did that and assessed miraculous healing. Wow. Ella Watson says that you called upon Archangel Raphael and did that. I'm so happy. Wow. Bless you. You know, Archangel Raphael really represents the healing warrior. And this is why we call on it's the healing warrior energy. And that's why we call upon that. And when we call upon that, we're calling upon the healing energy. Okay, so beautiful. So remember, everyone, take the survey. Please take the survey at this link, 69 Moons, to help us learn about what it is that you would like to see in the AI educational platform on traditional Chinese medicine healing system to support your health and wellness. Okay, so please take the survey. I just put the link in, which is 69moons.co/consumers. So take that survey and so we can learn about what you would want and need in such a platform. Thank you. So let's do a closing prayer. Dear God, angel, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to open the sacred space to talk and discuss about taking less action, being plugged in, being connected to our higher self and the universal forces so that we may take action that is powerful and meaningful to achieve the success that we desire. Thank you so much for allowing these beautiful souls to be on their soul's journey to connect with their higher self and the divine so that they may truly manifest a powerful life and take less action for more success. Thank you so much for guiding us to these to the powerful ways and the wisdoms and love and compassion that you have for each and every one of us, so that we may apply it in our own life, so that we may learn lots of lessons for the expansion and growth of our soul. So thank you for your continued success. Continued wisdoms, love, compassion, continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional love and